Yeah, hello, and welcome to episode 59 of Friends of the Show. I am Stephen W. Skinner, and this is my podcast where I chat with some of the funniest people whom are online. This week's friend is a very funny and nice and handsome gentleman who likes to keep it 150 and 1000% real. You know, of course, I'm talking about Tom at Yucky Tom on Twitter. And we had a blast chatting about our shared history of music with our favorite bands. But most of the show is Tom answering dozens upon dozens of great and fun and weird and dumb questions submitted by our listeners and our non-listeners. So thank you to all the question askers. Now get ready and buckle in for Friends of the Show, episode 59 with Yucky Tom. Checking the levels. Testing the levels. Levels are good. And now we see if this works. Oh, hell yeah. The old podcast. You scratching or something? Getting a bit of scratching on the mic.
Maybe my Wi-Fi was cutting in and out or something.
Oh, yeah, maybe. We'll see if it continues or if it clears up. Hopefully, the latter.
Yeah.
All right, well, listeners, this week's friend is what we call handsome in the classical sense and also hilarious in the classical sense. And I know his taste in music is great. I know this because we recently discovered that we have the same seminal album. And that's when I knew I had to get him on the pod to find out what else we have in common. So let's do it. It's at Yucky Tom on Twitter. And it's old Tom. Welcome, Tom.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, yeah. Let's bring the energy back way down. So we got you on the pod. And, yeah, that happened, what was it, last week? Where we both replied to one of those tweet calls where it's like, what's a Desert Island album, or what was the phrasing of the call?
I think it was like, what album changed your life forever or some shit.
Right, yeah. Way better than Desert Album. Yeah, changed your life forever. And that is we picked the same album.
Yeah.
And the album is Saves the Day Through Being Cool.
Fucking best album ever.
Slaps.
Changed my whole world.
It changed my world, too. So we both have fun stories about how we got it. I got it from a friend of mine's little brother who was on our bus. And he burned me a copy, and I'll be forever indebted to Aaron Monroe. So thank you. Shout out to Aaron Monroe.
Hell yeah. What's up, Aaron?
And how did you come upon it?
So, what did it come out? Like 98, 99, something like that. And I was just starting to play in bands and things like that, and we were like it was like the forefront of like pop punk when that was getting big or whatever, you know, after Blink-182 had been out for a while. And I didn't listen to that shit. I listened to like all that stuff that was popular in 1997, like Korn and Limp Bizkit and all that. And so I walked into Hot Topic, probably looking for a Korn shirt or something, and saw that in like the listening station they have, you know, they used to have like the CDs behind the glass, and you could like press number 1 and you could listen to the whole album. That was first on the thing, and I had never heard of them before, but I looked at the cover and they dressed like me and they looked like me, and I was like, oh, maybe this is worth it. And I heard the first, like the opening riff to All Star Me, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't know there was music like this. And I, dropped all that bullshit I was listening to and just tried to discover, these are the old days. This was like before the internet was really on and popping. So like, you couldn't just like Google what artist sounds like this. So you had to like do the legwork, man.
Yeah, but we had to do the legwork back in those days. You kids listening, you don't know how good you got it now with your Spotify's and your Apple's Music.
I'm out here on Morpheus taking 3 days to download a single song.
I'm on Kazaa downloading a file that I hope is an MP3. I don't even know. It's like, file.mp3 .exe. Like, oh,
Yeah.
one of those. And it's not a dot at all. It's like a weird character that looks like a dot. Oh, good one, hackers. You really got me. Because I wanted to download, the latest Get Up Kids album.
Yeah, yep.
So yeah, so
I have a good
that's
story about the Get Up Kids too.
Hook us up. That's what I want to hear. Like this, like we have the shared common language of the music of that era. I think we grew up on the same sort of sounds.
Yeah.
So we probably have the same similar language of bands that we like. So hit us with the Get Up Kids tale.
Yeah, I mean, I think I oversold it. It's not a good story. It's just that I remember exactly where I was when I got it. My dad had taken us to Hawaii, and I was at a Sam Goody in like Maui or something like that, and I had never heard of them either, but I saw the artwork for Something to Write Home About, and I was like, oh, okay. And I picked that up, and now that's still one of my favorite albums of all time too. One of the top 5 at least.
Slotted in the mix. Yeah, that guy's voice, there's something about his voice.
He still sounds so like good. That.
It's just perfect. Yeah, I think I've seen them on a Warped Tour stage, and it's like I wasn't close, but I could hear them, pretty well. And it was like, wow, that sounds just like it's. Some people translate really well, and that guy is one of them. Yep.
He still sounds like that. It's been like almost 20 years.
Man, that's cool. That's great. So you still get out to a lot of shows, I guess. That's what I'm like. Yeah, let's talk about it. You ever go to a Warped Tour? What shows do you go into?
I went to one Warped Tour because I got to be honest with you, I hate. People.
We got it, yes.
So I don't like crowds. I don't like being around, being touched and all that. So I sort of boned myself with all that because I didn't get to see a lot of the a lot of my favorites until I was old, which is fine because I wasn't about to be getting in any pits anyway. I was never that kind of kid. I just kind of stood in the back of my arms crossed looking pissed. But now, my favorite band of all time is Every Time I Die, and I see them constantly now at 34 years old, and I can't believe they're still doing it. But yeah, I didn't see Saves the Day except they played my college once when I was there, and then I saw them again for the 15th anniversary of Through Being Cool, where they played all the way through, which was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I probably go to more shows now, honestly. I went to one Warped Tour. I hated it. It was basically like a toned down version of the Firefest where they locked all those rich kids in the gulag.
Yeah, it was a bad stop. Bad stop on the tour.
I don't know, man. I'm from New Jersey, and bands love playing New Jersey because they get a really big response there, whether they're from here or not. Like if you listen to the dude from Newfound Glory talk, he talks about New Jersey like they're from Clearwater, Florida or something like that. But he talks about New Jersey it's what made them that they're famous because they played here in a couple places and blew up here and then expanded throughout the country and all that. But it's just so you get these big shows. And so it was in Asbury Park, and this was before Asbury Park had come back. It's a pretty nice place to go now, but man, we really shouldn't have been 13, 14 years old waiting for our parents to pick us up in the parking lots there when Warped Tour happened.
Yeah. So that was early 2000s or so?
Yeah, 99, I think I went.
Okay, yeah.
2000 maybe, and I remember my one friend, dude. We were just we had been into punk rock for a little bit then at this point maybe. So maybe it was 2001. Maybe I was 15 or 16. And I had one friend who just didn't know anything, but this guy was really excited to go see Papa Roach and play there.
Play their hit single, Last Resort.
Yeah. So I had to go with him, and I was like, ugh, I have to sit through this shit.
Yeah, I'm sure Papa Roach played that right up top.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They had one or two, right?
They did have a follow-up. Oh, I wish I could think of what it was, but shout out to Papa Roach. Still doing it, probably.
Probably. I remember, the only thing I remember really is that was the first time I ever saw Dillinger Escape Plan, and they almost set me on fire because they were nobody, and they were playing this tiny stage, and this is before the first singer left, so they were hard, they were mathcore type stuff, really really hard screaming and shit, and nobody knew who they were, so it was even me, this is the first time I ever heard him, and there was 6 people up front there, and he was doing that shit that wrestlers do where they spit the fire out.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, holy shit! So I moved back like 3 rows. That was like when their guitarist used to like hit himself in the head with the guitar all the time. I don't fucking know, man.
Man, some of those guys get pretty crazy. And you're saying they're playing on a tiny like stage to 6 people, blowing fire. I mean, you could have burned up half the audience in one blow.
Yeah. It was pretty cool, but it was pretty scary too.
Yeah, some of that stuff's pretty gnarly. Like how hardcore some of those like before their big bands get on those tiny little stages. You're just like, you just have to like make a name for yourself however you can. Whatever your stage presence is, I guess if it's blowing fire, then maybe it's blowing fire.
Hell yeah.
Damn. So not too fond on the Warped Tour. I went to many a Warped Tour in my day. Wasn't in too many mosh pits, but yeah, a couple. Sometimes you got to get in there. And one time, Green Day headlined. It was like a huge one, and they like were right at the end. And
that's the one I went to. I think that's the same one.
Oh, really? Yeah. It was.
I think so.
It was nuts.
It was early, right? Like early. Like they were big, but it was like after Nimrod,
yes.
right? But
yeah. And it was like I was at the back of I was like at the like fringes of the very back of the crowd, like forming for Green Day, and then first chords ring out, and I'm right in the middle. I was like right in the middle, every single person, and it became like the biggest mosh pit like I've ever been in. It was insane.
Oh my god! I remember I almost fell on my face because the lead singer at Anti-Flag had to get through the crowd. And he like shoved the shit out of me, and I was like, "Who the?" And I turned around and saw who it was. Like, "Oh, all right."
Some people get to shove. Some people get to shove. If he's wearing a laminate and he's in the crowd, he can shove. So have you ever had? What's the gnarliest show you went to?
Gnarliest,
or like most memorable?
I can tell you, but it's a sensitive subject these days.
Okay, you don't. Hey, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, Tom. That's fine.
One of my favorites was definitely like I saw.
Oh, I know where this is going.
I saw, like I said, I saw Saves the Day do the 15th anniversary through Being Cool, which was incredible, and I saw Coheed and Cambria play In Keeping Secrets all the way through, which was great.
And what's the full name of that album?
In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3, I think.
Cool.
It's like the second one. It's like their sophomore one.
My wife was the one who showed me Coheed and Cambria first. I think her roommate had told her about it, I think. So shout out to Matt Deere, shout out to Kat for getting me into Coheed for a little bit.
Yeah, I still like them. They're still doing it.
Yeah, it was a lot for me because I was like, what? How? I understand it's like a giant of like each album is like its own tome of like craziness with so many layers where you can just keep going back and back. It's like reading Lord of the Rings again and finding new stuff, and it is kind of like that fantasy tip.
Yeah, I love shit like that though, man. That shit really makes me smile.
It is good. I mean, I do love a good band that puts in all those layers and stuff, so when you re-listen you find something new, it's like boom, it can blow your mind. Like the song you have loved for so long, you hear something new in there, and it can blow your mind.
Yeah,
it's happened to me with like some. I thought you were gonna say brand new. It's with some brand new songs I've listened to.
That is what I was gonna say.
Okay, here we go. I don't know how problematic it is.
I was trying to dance around it a little bit with some of my other favorites, but yeah, my absolute favorite show I've ever been to, and it really sucks to say, is 2 years ago now, I guess. Me and a bunch of friends went to see Brand New in Baltimore, and it was right after the latest album came out, which I was in love with, and I was playing over and over, like no skips, just all day at work. I work 10, 12-hour days, and I would listen to it all day, and just like the whole time, and I loved it, and I loved them, and I would. Their set list at that was incredible. They played with Nada Surf, who is also pretty awesome.
That's a popular band.
Yeah, well,
get it?
1994 maybe.
No, get it? Because that's a reference. It's a Not a Surf reference. I think they also did the theme to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Did they?
The theme to the original television series Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm pretty sure. You remember? Yeah, all my Buffy heads know what I'm talking about.
I have never seen it.
And all my Nada Surf fans. So amazing brand new show, playing the new set plus old songs, right? Like the new tour.
And I think maybe a month later, maybe not even. This was like October of whatever year it was. I think maybe a month later, not even, the stuff about Jesse Lacey came out, and we were all like, oh. And he got, obviously canceled for very good reasons.
Yeah, So it's like a unfortunate thing that's happening to people nowadays who do questionable things morally, that you get canceled. And
I wouldn't call it unfortunate.
No, not unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they did the things, right? Like, they made that choice somewhere along the line, and then, it's going to catch up with you someday. And now it's catching up with a lot of people really quick. Unfortunately, Jesse Lacey was one of them. I drove with my cousin and my wife and his friend to Albany, New York to see Jesse Lacey and Kevin Devine on their solo acoustic tour, their co-headlining acoustic tour, and it was such a cool trip, and it was amazing, like great memories of that. And now
it's ruined.
Asterisk, tainted. That's just it's more
runs.
of like a word of warning to people who are listening who might be like, maybe I can get away with it. Just don't.
Don't do it.
Don't try. Don't do it, because everyone's just, you can get canceled at a moment's notice. I might be canceled by the time you're listening.
Like that, you should be.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the right stance to take, Tom, and I think that's why I like you so much. You're really hard and fast in your conviction, and whenever I see you like replying to people, I'm like, oh yeah, no, Tom's definitely in the right here. So it's like no question. So I think on that we align. So thank you for correcting me when I'm not fully using the right language. I am trying to improve. We all should
Who
be.
isn't?
So we all should be nowadays. It's 2019, unless you're listening in the far future. So, Tom, what brought you to Twitter? How long have you been doing the tweets?
I've been around since like 2011, I think. But like, doing like, I wasn't like yucky Tom. I was just like tweeting about sports I liked and shit like that.
Oh yeah. So tweeting at like what's your team?
Yeah, like who the hell knows? I was probably tweeting about the Yankees and Liverpool. I've been tweeting about Liverpool for years and years.
Oh, Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm a big Liverpool fan.
Bit of a Liverpudlian.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I'm a Man City supporter. So.
So we're destined to be enemies then.
We're enemies, but that's okay.
It's fine. I don't care all that much anymore, really.
Not into the Premier League as much.
I am. It's just I don't know.
It's hard if there's not a big community or like around where you are, right? I don't know how big soccer is in the States.
It's pretty big where I'm at. I mean, I'm only a couple minutes from New York City, so we get to go to like Liverpool bars and stuff and hang out. I just kind of missed this season. It was like our best season in years, and I kind of sort of just missed it. I watched like the Champions League final, and that was it almost.
Right, I get it. So yeah, you kind of missed out on a good run for your boys. Oh well, there's always next season.
Yeah.
And I guess the Yankees, boo to the Yankees.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, they're just despised.
Everybody but me has the same stuff.
They're not good. Yeah, you're either a Yankee fan or you hate the Yankees. So, like, I don't hate all the baseball teams, but I definitely hate the Yankees.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing. Like when I was a kid and I was growing up, like my dad's a massive Yankees fan, massive baseball fan. Watches it, he watched every game he can and all that. I loved them as a kid, but that's one thing I've fallen off on. Man, I can't watch fucking baseball anymore. It's just so boring. It's just so hard to watch anymore.
It is boring. I'm in fantasy baseball leagues, and that sort of helps a little bit to get some interest in it. Like not just like Jays games or whatever, but if I have a guy going, it's kind of interesting. But even so, it is incredibly boring to watch.
It's tough, man. I'm a grown man with bills. You know what I mean? Like I don't have time for this shit.
And even with they've really tried to speed up the game. Like in the last couple of years, they've added all these new rules, and there's like a clock and there's a timer. And
they put them on ice skates and shit. I remember that. They tried that.
It is still boring. So
yeah.
Oh well, what are you gonna do? It's America's pastime. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we have to get into the questions, Tom. I don't know if we have much more time for banter. We got a whole lot of questions sent in our way, so that just kind of proves how nice and popular you are. You're beloved by everyone. Seems like in all of these questions coming in, it's a general vibe of, this guy is good. This guy here, he's got something. So I think we better get into these questions, otherwise we're going to be in a 2-episode situation. So let's dive right in. So thank you to everyone who has sent in a question to @FOTS All right, first question comes to us from recent friend of the show, Llama in a Tux. It's @Llama in a Tux, and it's Kevin, and the llama asks, how many Walmart greeters have you kissed, and what are you going to do to get that number up?
Well, first things first. First and foremost, I'm fancy as shit. I'll never be caught dead in a Walmart. I understand that they're like nice in other parts of the country, but man, here in the Garden State, they are awful. I'm a Target head, ride or die. I got the Target logo tattooed on my back. I'm trying to get sponsored by them every day. I at them for my alt. Target Boy 69.
Shout out
to Target Boy 69. But that doesn't mean I'm discriminating on kissing. I'll kiss a Walmart greeter. I'm just not doing it in a Walmart. You got to come out to the parking lot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So far, let's say none of your business, followed by, maybe just be nicer. Maybe not be such a dick about how I don't like Walmart. You know what I mean?
That might help, especially with the Walmart greeters specifically. Maybe just don't bring that up. Maybe.
Yeah, I just won't bring up that I wouldn't be caught dead there. They'd have to drag my corpse in there.
Would the Walmart greeter have to greet your corpse? And if so, how would they greet your corpse being dragged in? They do have to. I would imagine. I've read up. I won't go there, but I have. All the local businesses and like big box stores, I always request their employee handbooks to be mailed to me, so I know exactly how I can behave when I go in there. They just do that,
and how they can treat me. Yeah, I write to all the corporate offices. I wrote to Steve Walmart's cousin, Greg Walmart.
Yeah,
I wrote to him, and I said, I need these employee handbooks, and he was like, "Oh, are you interested in employment here?" And I wrote back, Stephen, I pride myself on being pretty real, but even with corporate types. So I said, I know I wouldn't be caught dead in your establishment.
Again, you could have left it out.
Yeah, I could have. See, this is where I need to improve. So, like you said, we're all working on ourselves. I'd like to not be this way, but I am real. I keep it 150. So, anyway, long story short, I get all these employee handbooks. I know that if you go in there dead in your casket, they have to greet you, but they can also, out of this like respect law, if you come out, they can't check your receipt. So like if your loved ones bring you in and stuff some shit into your coffin, they can't check that.
They can only check the living. They can only check the living on the way out.
That's right. They can check them. They can check the cart. Like you got a cart and you're wheeling me in the cart, check the cart. That's fine.
This is huge. I don't know if listeners know this. I don't know who else has access to these handbooks. Probably not many people.
Because people don't know. The people are ignorant. You people are ignorant to this. You can just write them. Write Greg Walmart right now. P.O. Box 569, Easton, Pennsylvania.
Boom. Guys, get on this letter writing campaign. It seems like it's very worth it.
It's easy.
All right. Well, hopefully, a lot of smooching in your future.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much to Kevin for that insightful question. And now the next questions come to us from friend of the show, Todd Poppy Carlos at the Todd Williams. And he had to think about these, but he's ready now. He says, let's roll. 1. If you were a new member of KISS, what would be your character or makeup deal?
First and foremost, shout out to Todd. I always love Todd. I hope none of these answers offend you. Okay. What are the faces now? Do you know? I don't know KISS.
Okay,
really.
I know.
I know there's the Starman.
Starman, that's great. Yeah, he's definitely one of them. And then there's a cat. One of them is a cat.
He's a cat. Is that Peter Criss?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know
matter.
which
Anyway,
one they are. And then Gene Simmons is like a demon, right?
Okay.
He's like got those spiky. It's almost like an aboriginal, like a native sort of style. It's like a big spider or something.
Right.
And then the other guy has 2 stars. So
he's the double star man?
Yeah, so it's like one guy has just the 1 star over the eye, Starman. And then the other guy has like 2. It's like not really stars, I guess. It's silver. He's got like a silver.
I know what you're talking about. I can picture it. Yes.
Yeah, silver blaze. This description of Kiss makeup brought to you by Pinterest.
Okay, well, so I mean, if we're talking demons and stars and cats, you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like the Super Mario universe. So what I would be is I would be a mushroom. I would have the mushroom face paint, but I'd just be the red one. You know, I'm not greedy. I don't need a one-up. You know, I don't need to be the green one. I can be red. You know, I can be humble before God
humble.
And before Mario and Luigi.
If there's one thing I know about Kiss, it's the humble. They're so humble.
Yeah. That's what Love Gun's about. Love Gun's about just being humble and kneeling before your God, who mine is Mario. I subscribe to a lot of religious literature from the Mushroom Kingdom.
You're an honorary. You would say you're an honorary member of the Mushroom Kingdom. You'd consider yourself.
I don't know if I've been taught. He's been teaching me to be humble, so I can't say I'm a member of the community. All I can say is that I stand. That's all I'm allowed to say.
Okay. Well, this is very informative. I hope the listeners are learning a lot here, and I hope Todd is writing notes. I hope he's taking down notes.
If I know Todd, he fucking is.
Well, if I know Todd, I think he's on a walk right now.
Why? Is he like in an old people home or something?
No. He likes to go on a nice stroll in the evening with a great podcast to listen to keep him company.
Okay, all right.
So I hope you're listening right now, and I hope it's a lovely evening, Todd. As we get to your next question, number 2. What's your most embarrassing dating experience? Hopefully something that involves comically losing your pants.
Well, let's say I've never been on a date ever.
What?
Not once in my life. Yeah, honestly. So I really wish I had something funny to say.
This is a big NA.
Yeah, like I obviously I've been on dates with like girlfriends I've had or whatever. Because I've had 1 to 30 of those, but like I've never been on a date. Like I've never dated anyone. You know what I mean? I've never gone out with a random person. I've never like met someone for drinks that I didn't know.
Right. So all of your relationships, let's say, have been friends that have turned into something more?
I guess you could say like friends of friends,
Yeah.
A friend will betray me and introduce me to a devil or a demon, and then we'll date for a little bit. Maybe we'll get married.
I mean, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
We're like, are you a succubus?
Yeah.
Whatever.
You have to tell me. It's like being a cop. You would think that they would follow the same rules, but they don't.
No, there's no rule. I get the succubus. I get the demon handbook. I write to Satan, and he sends me the demon employee handbook every time it gets updated. And yeah, I know that for a fact that they do not have to tell you. That's like it's part of the thing. They're about lying.
But like you got to figure, right? They don't follow Earth's rules at all. They don't even live here, so why should they?
I mean, I guess that's right.
To each his own.
No, that's right. I'm not disagreeing with any of it. I just like to know the rule, what I'm dealing with.
I'm just saying, we got to figure it that way, right?
You do have to figure it that way. So you never... Okay, what about on non-date situations? Have you ever lost your pants? Let's get to a losing your pants situation, however we can get there.
Losing my pants. All right. I got a shitting my pants story. Do you want that?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So in 2010, and I know it was 2010 because it was in July and it was during the Men's World Cup. Now, Stephen, I'm such a feminist that I call the Women's World Cup the World Cup.
Damn.
And I call the Men's World Cup the Men's World Cup.
Oof, I think we just need to stop right here. I'm writing down a note. Tom is very good. Okay, go ahead.
So, these boys, these men, are playing this game. You know, they're not great at it. They're not like Rapinoe or O'Hara or New Jersey's own Carly Lloyd.
Woo.
They're just boys playing a game. But anyway, so I'm watching this, and I'm down the shore, which is what we call going to the beach in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
My mother lives down the shore. What's it called? So I go with my friend down the shore. We're at a boardwalk bar. We're watching this game. I think it was probably U.S. versus Brazil or something. Who knows? And we're only down there because my friend's having a birthday party down there, and he lives in the next town over from the cursed Seaside, New Jersey, of Jersey Shore fame.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how far are we in proximity to Snooki and the gang? Are they still around there?
We're
there. Right.
This story takes place about 25 minutes drive from there, because the story at the bar, we're in Seaside. We're at the cursed Seaside location.
Okay.
So they weren't there though. That was years before that. But anyway, so we go to a party. We're playing beer pong. I'm kicking ass because I'm just a top athlete in my class in everything I try. Now I had some shrimp at the Raw Bar at the bar in Seaside. It must not have been great. I don't know. I wasn't doing great. Tummy hurting, feeling a little sick. Long story short, I take a shot to win the game. I shit my pants.
No, I would love to see that recreated, and specifically that shot in slow motion, where you realize it's the winning shot, but also realize that you're in an inextricable situation.
Yeah. So, sorry to all my reply girls. Sorry to everyone who thought I was hot on Twitter. Bad boys shit
just
their pants.
Focus.
That's what they do.
No, just focus on the game-winning shot. My man
that too.
is a game-winning athlete.
He's just an athlete at the top of his class who has to take Nexium every day.
He's the guy you want on your side. Who just stands half a extra foot away, maybe.
Yeah. So now I'm wearing camo shorts because it was the style at the time. So I look back, I check my calves, I check my thighs, see if there's shit on it. I got nothing, so I'm good. So I walk upstairs, I walk inside, I say, please hold a moment. And I walk inside, and I walk upstairs, and this is my friend Brian's house, and his brother's there. It's a real nice house. It's a nice community called Bayville, kind of hicky, but it's, they got big houses there. This jerk off, he tells me, hey, you can't go upstairs. I said, I'm Brian's boy, Tom. And he was like, I don't care who you are. You're not going upstairs. I said, okay. So I go into the downstairs bathroom. I check my situation. It's not bad. It's really not bad. It was just kind of like, So I'm like, but you know what? It's bad enough. So now I hate this man. This man who told me I cannot go upstairs. No one. Here's the thing. Nobody tells me what to do, Steven.
Oh, okay.
So I take them off, the underwear. I leave them there under the sink. I put the camo shorts back on. I come back out to win another 3 games.
Oh,
we take off.
Nice. Nowadays, you walk in there, he's like, oh my God, of course. And please use my mom's towels. They're the best towels.
I do appreciate your impression of the New Jersey jerk-off.
I really love that accent. I love doing it so much. If people have listened to other episodes, they might have heard me ask questions in that voice or whatever. And mine is really over the top, and yours is sort of understated. It's sort of yeah, I can hear a little bit, but it's just sort of you keep it a little bit more low key. I'm not sure what the different dialects of the region are, but I've been told I do more of a New Yorkie Manhattan. But I just think it's New Jersey.
Well, it's funny, man. Becoming friends with people from all over, on Twitter and stuff. Having friends in New Mexico or Washington State, anywhere, even Canada, even with you or Keviclism or any of those people,
or Todd.
Kevin thinks my accent is fucking hilarious. He makes fun of me every day because I know what I sound like. You know what I mean? I didn't realize what I sound like till I started having friends from other places.
Right. Yeah.
But I know I kind of sound like a goofball now. But yeah, I think it's a little more understated than the actual, the big
character.
joke that we've become.
With
the Jersey Shore shit.
The big character, the Jersey Shore. I always think of Sopranos, but I guess it's not really. Not even.
Yeah, that too, I guess, yeah. Because
More
that's
like
about where I'm at.
Italian.
Right
yeah, no, I think
that's
you're
about where I live.
Yeah, oh, you're in the hood?
Sort of, yeah.
Pretty neat. Maybe you can see the ducks.
Yeah, we got those.
You got the ducks. All right, well, we better get to Todd's third question, and it is, how do you manage to walk the line between nice guy and bad boy? And why?
And why? That's my favorite part of it. Well, let me answer why first, because that's the easier part. Why is because, I pride myself on keeping it 150, Steve, and no phony shit. I hate phonies. I hate bogus bullshit. Like, even on Twitter, like when you catch someone out here doing, some shit you can tell is super phony for clout or whatever, and you just want to, like, at them with, like, hey, be real about it at least, like, anyway, I don't know. No,
I think that's a perfect answer. I understand what you're saying. And I understand the urge that people have to, like, maybe put their best face forward or try and, like, skew how they're portrayed online and not be 100% real, or it's like a lot of people, maybe more than not, and it's really refreshing to hear you put the emphasis on being real.
Like, I don't mind that so much. I get, like, trying to make your life seem pretty cool if it's not or whatever, but, like, that's fine. But, like, I'm talking about, like, phony interaction and stuff, being like a cornball for no reason, trying to, like, get in on, like, posts are going to go viral and stuff like that. Just talk to your friends. Just be friends with people, man. Just be real.
So you're talking about people maybe quote in quotes playing a game of Twitter just to try and to maybe get themselves ahead, right? Is what we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, we all do it. We all did it. But,
for sure, to different levels and extents. But it's good to remember to be real, because it is better than the other thing.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like, I don't think anyone will call me a nice guy.
I called you a nice guy right up top. What the hell?
Do you think so? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I do think you're very nice, but also such a bad boy. Like, and I don't think it's really a bad boy as much as sort of like being real, and people maybe think that could be like a bad boy. I don't know. Do you think that's what it is?
I guess so. I think it's realness.
Because you're not afraid you're not afraid to go and mix it up and reply to someone who is being phony or doing something that sort of like should be called out, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've been blocked over it. Joel Osteen had to block me. You know what I mean? So
Joel
it's like...
Osteen, that big-toothed church guy.
Yeah.
He blocked you. That is good. That is really good.
Yeah, I think the simple answer is realness, man. Just be real. Just be friends with who you're friends with. Just like who you like. Don't fuck with who you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah,
you know
don't like who you don't like, I guess, right?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. Well, good point. And thank you to Todd for those great questions. And now we get to the next question, and it is from Heavenly Angel Taffy B, friend of the show, at Sing with Taffy on Twitter. And her question is...
So cool.
Yeah, one of the coolest. And everyone, if you're listening right now, you can go check out her whole episode. It was the first episode of Season 2, and it was great. It was such a delight to talk to her. And her question for you, Tom, is... Dear Tom, please answer my very important questions. How many soda flavors can you mix in one mug, and how many soda flavors should you mix in one mug?
Well, first and foremost, how many soda flavors are there? You can stick them all in there. You know what I mean?
How many are there?
There's got to be a million. I mean, this is the only, if the U.S. was the only country in the world, there would already be, 10,000 maybe?
10,000.
So then you got other countries like, yours, where I'm sure you got some weird ones. I'm sure you guys like, you probably have pancake soda, shit like that, right?
Yeah, we got different sodas. But we call them pop.
Oh, you do? Yeah, some of America calls it that.
Yeah, I don't know how we fell into that jurisdiction, but I mean, I don't know.
You're basically like an extension of Minnesota, and they call it that there, right?
Yeah, but also we go all the way across to to the other side too.
Yeah, so, that's true. You can do that.
In Vancouver, do they call it something else, like what they call it in Seattle? I don't know.
I don't know what they call it anywhere. I'm flying into Seattle on Thursday. I can ask somebody.
Please ask every person you see in Seattle what they do with the pop situation.
So how many should you? I mean, well, this might be the toughest question I've seen on the internet. Because I'll tell you what did I used to do when I was a kid? I had a very specific recipe when I was a kid. When you go to like the buffet, you know, like the Chinese buffet, and you can just like do the soda shit.
The swamp water.
Yeah, I do them all, man.
That's the swamp water.
Yeah, and it was always good. You ever do it? It's never not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's all high fructose corn syrup.
Well, yeah.
Just tinged one way or the other with flavor.
Yeah, well, you do them all except the diets, because the diets you get all that aspartame.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that diet,
that shit.
You'll definitely taste that.
Yeah. So, so let's say, if the question is, how many should you do? Hey, you got to look inside your heart, you got to look inside your soul, and you got to live your own truth. If you think you can stomach going down to the supermarket and getting an Inca Cola, a Malta Cola, you know, those Goya, go down the ethnic aisle, get all those. Go down the regular aisle, get all the American ones or the Canadian Pops or whatever. Stick them all in there. Put them all in a blender if that's what your soul's telling you what to do.
In a blender? That's going to ruin the carbonation.
All right, well, don't put it in a blender. Just mix them up, I guess.
Yeah, just in a mug. It's important that it is in a mug.
A mug, really? Yeah, okay. Well,
it's part of the question.
Beer and root beer.
Yeah.
You got to look inside yourself, Taffy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Whatever the answer is, it will be there in your heart. Or 4.
Yeah, let's say 4.
Or it could be 4. All right. All right. Now we get to the next question, and it, of course, comes to us from a good question asker at Joel Crass. And it's Joel Crass. And here is my question for Tom. Who is the best?
House feminist.
House_feminist. We're talking about Morgan, and we'll get to her later. What a tease. And we keep this question train a-rolling with a question from maybe the second best? I don't know, tied for best? One of the best for sure. I'm talking about Dave Cactus. I'm talking about at Dave_Cactus. And if you haven't heard his episode, you probably want to do that. It is great, and he is a lovely. And his question for Tom is, what is your favorite tweet reenactment that involves me being removed from Costco?
You ever see that?
Always very specific questions from our friend Dave.
Have you ever seen his reenactment of that tweet?
I don't think so. I think we need to link it into the show notes.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after this.
Send it to me.
He did like a for charity. They always do, him and the Obscure Gents always do that, like that walk for charity or whatever.
Yes.
So like then they give out the prizes or whatever. Like one time I made candles for them.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I like making candles. Anyway.
You're a candlesman? I think we should pause on this for a second. Are you talking about beeswax candles? You do the thing where you roll it, or what?
No, just like soy candles. Like you dip, you heat it all up and you make it. You put some scents in there, put some essential oils in there, and you know. You
make your own like Tom scent?
I did for a while. Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
What did it smell like? What were your go-to things you put in?
I like a lavender one. That was good. Like a cucumber melon one. That was probably my favorite. Had a peaches and cream one that was like vanilla and peach. That was my favorite. That was a good one.
That's fancy.
Yeah, and they're all named after like rap songs or rap lyrics or R&B lyrics.
Nice.
So anyway, Dave did a reenactment of one of my A-Girl tweets about going to Costco. And he did it in a Costco, and I think it got him ejected. That's what he's talking about.
Well, I got to see this. And so, yeah, send me the link, and I'll put it in the show notes. Everyone can pause the podcast. You go to the show notes, www.stephenwskinner.com, and then you click on this video, and you watch it right now, and we'll all have
It's pretty good. Laugh. It's really good.
Oh, great stuff. So it's that one?
Yeah.
That's your favorite.
Gotta be that one.
It's got to be. That one's your favorite tweet reenactment of him being forcefully removed from the premises of a Costco.
Yeah, he is a very good tweet reenactor. He's probably the best.
Probably the best. Yeah, you got to go watch his reenactments if you can find them. There should be some sort of a thread of those. Dave, if you're listening, thread it.
Fuck. And it works even better when you give him great content. And like, my tweets are, top notch. So like, he he found one. He found a really good one. Best of the best. It's hard to pick with mine because they're all so good.
It is hard.
And,
it's just like when he had that sign. He used to put tweets on a sign at his place of business, and that was so great. Such a great boost for the community. And you're right. He does find really good content. So
I wish I could have had one.
So look for my tweet on the sign by him, wherever tweets are found.
Yeah.
So we got to say, shout out to Dave. He is the best. Give him a follow and send him a note that says he's really good after you watch the video, because he is really good. Shout out, Dave. We love you. The next question comes to us. Oh, here we go. It's going to be a deep one. And it is from Steph at EFF_Steph. If you could only read one book for the rest of your life, which one would you pick and why?
First of all, shout out to Steph, who is one of my best friends on here. Great question. And you would think I would go with a classic, being as intelligent and well-read as I am. You would think I would go with a classic, maybe, some Mary Shelley shit or some George Orwell. Honestly, I have to go with Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer.
Oh, wow.
It is it's the most beautiful book I've ever read in my life. I hate to be, corny.
Switching from this is it. This is what Todd was talking about. Switching gently from bad boy mode to nice guy mode, and still keeping it 150% real.
Yeah, and it's funny because after I read this, I went back. I tried to read his other stuff, and it's good. He's seems like a really great guy. His nonfiction shit is really good, but nothing I've ever read compares how beautiful I think this book is. And it's I've only read it the one time too. I really should read it again. I think I read it in 2005 or 6 when it came out, and I just it's just one of those books that you're sort of shouldn't read it in public because you're crying half the time you're reading it.
I was going to ask if there was any tears.
Oh my God, almost the whole thing.
Wow.
It's and I was really in 2005 I was really young, but I was I guess I was 20, 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I worked at a supermarket, and I would read it on my break, and I would just sit there crying to myself reading it while all my coworkers were just like, "What the fuck?"
Just in the fridge behind all the milk, just gently sobbing.
But honestly, just literally, I could read it 100 times. I would read it. Like I said, I've only read it once, and I'm fucking up. I need to read it again. I need to get an audiobook. Everyone should read it. If you've never read it, you need to read it. It's called Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, and there's a movie. I think Sandra Bullock's in it, and I watched it once, but it was okay. But the book is...
That's what I've heard. The general consensus is that the movie failed to capture the...
It's nothing. The whole thing about Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close is just that, he's,
You should mention briefly what the subject matter is for the listeners who might not have heard of it.
So it's a young... like I said, I read it forever ago, so I don't remember names or anything, but, so it's a young boy who finds a key or something in his grandpa's old shit and decides he's going on a mission. He lives in New York City. He decides he's going on a mission to find out what the key is to or whatever. He goes back over his grandpa's old journals and stuff. And his grandpa survived the bombing of Dresden in World War II. And Safran Foer's Jewish, and it's so World War II, is big to him. Obviously. And I believe his own grandparents, either survived it or didn't. I don't remember that part, but anyway, that's basically what it is. So it goes back and forth between the kid and reading these letters from his grandpa and explaining, why, because the grandpa kind of goes missing or takes a vow of silence or something and just can't speak to the grandma anymore or something. And he's got letters about the old, the bombing of Dresden, and it's just oh my God, it's so wild, man. It's just so heart-wrenching, the whole book, and it's so good, and it's so well written, and every page is good.
Well, there you go, Steph. Check it out if you haven't, and listeners, let us know. Part of the Friend of the Show book club now.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's good. I'm going to check it out, and you should too. And thank you again to Steph for that lovely, insightful, great, deep question. And the next question comes to us from Phil P. at Advice from Phil. And the question is, where do you stand on beans on toast?
This guy. Like,
I was waiting for you to interrupt me while I was asking.
He knows exactly where I stand on beans on toast. I've addressed this already with him. What do they call that? A full English or something?
No.
It's some kind of breakfast there or something.
Okay,
right?
yeah. Part of the full English, probably.
Okay, all right. So I told him, I said I had a bad experience with a British person. We discussed it earlier in the show. It's time to move on.
Okay, yeah, keeping it real. Beans on toast. And a quick Google will reveal that it is also a British singer. And yeah, it's like a British meal.
Yeah. He's transitioned. He's currently transitioning. This man currently transitioning to a beans on toast Stan account, which I respect. You gotta have a brand. I love that for him. I don't really know him.
Is he American?
Really
is he from England or?
I don't fucking know. I don't know this man. I just know that he's doing that, and it began shortly before I followed him.
Okay.
And you gotta respect the conviction, but. Like I said, we've already addressed this. We've gone over this. So.
We've gone over it. It's a no on beans on toast. But Phil, he stands beans on toast.
And I respect that, and I like that about him.
You got to respect that from Phil. So, yeah, it's a no, but Phil, you do you, and keep it real as always. Thank you for your question. And, of course, the next question comes to us from the lovely Asia. And I'm talking about at Asia D NYC. Coming to us from the Big Apple, the New York City. And Asia has a nice question, and she asks, how many whiskey shots would it take to turn you into a real-life version of your "Hey girl" tweets?
First of all, shout out to Asia. She was one of my first friends on Twitter years ago.
Really? An OG friend. Yeah, she's very, very cool. I do enjoy a good Asia tweet, and she does a good snap, too. She's a very cute pup, very cute dog.
Yes. Underrated. She should have
definitely underrated. She recently had a huge tweet blow up, and I'm like, here we go. Now it's going to start rolling for old Asia, so yeah, watch for her. Coming soon.
Yeah, she got nothing but nice things to say about you, too.
Oh, what a sweetheart. Thank you very much, Asia. You're lovely. So you're trying to dodge this question.
No, I would never. Steven, what have we been over?
Okay, so let's give some background so everyone is caught up for the answer. Your "A girl" tweets, what is she talking about?
So, I guess you could call it like a series or something where it's not a thread or anything. It's just something I do whenever I feel like it. I just write in a big run-on sentence where every third or fourth word is girl. So that's one of the ones that Dave reenacted was like, "Hey girl, do you need 10 pounds of anything from Costco or something like that?"
Oh wow.
And yeah, that's what he did, and that's why it's so fucking funny.
It's a real everything coming together here.
Yeah, because he does the voice pretty good of what I would imagine the dude would sound like. Because I just picture it so monotone and such a run-on sentence that like, "Hey girl."
Oh, I get it. Yeah, mine was too high energy.
Yeah, no, I think it's more of like a fuckboy type thing where it's just like, "Hey girl, what you doing later?"
Right.
Type thing.
It's like I don't care.
Hey, my favorite superhero is Wonder Woman. Notice I didn't say that my favorite female superhero is Wonder Woman. I'm just different, girl.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, so that's basically that's the background. I mean, I just do that every now and then.
So now we have to ask, the question is, how many whiskey shots would it take to turn you into a real life version of that guy?
I feel like maybe 0, just because I talk like that
somewhere deep down.
Yeah, like I mean, like I'll I'm not just throwing it around, but sometimes I'll be talking.
Yeah, I mean, you can't come up with an A girl tweet unless you live in that A girl life a little.
Right. Yeah. Right. You gotta let Mr. Hyde come out at Dr. Jekyll every now and then.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's the bad boy versus the nice guy, but they both obviously keep it 150.
But like honestly, probably like 5 or 6, I guess.
5 or 6.
Like, yeah, because like I said, I'm not just tossing it around, but like you could probably ask Morgan. I'll probably text her
After 5 or 6.
After 5 or 6 shots of whiskey. Hey, girl, what are you doing right now?
Yeah. And we should follow up. What type of whiskeys are you drinking? What are you into? What are your brands? Do you ever splurge on those fancy ones?
I do. I do that a lot. And like,
do you ever try Craigenmore? Do you ever try a Talisker?
No, I've never tried either.
Oh, you got to get some Speyside malts in you.
Yeah. Apparently, I have been big. When I first started drinking whiskey like heavy, like years ago, when I first got rich, like I would spend like $100, $120, $150 on like 18-year-old scotches and shit like that. But like,
that's what I'm talking about. Barrel aged.
But honestly, I don't like them that much. I transitioned recently to bourbons, and I've been liking a lot of bourbons.
A little sweeter, right?
Yeah, and like I don't drink them right. Like I'm I should be no one's example for like being a good whiskey drinker, because like bourbon, I guess you're supposed to drink straight or whatever. I put ice in it. Like I'll drink.
Oh yeah, that's the same. Yeah, I'm talking about scotches. What I was talking about was Scotch whiskey. But yeah, you got to drink those straight if you're like a purist, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're watering it down.
Yeah. I like. I don't know, man. I feel like the older they are, the spicier they are. I hate to sound like the white person I am, but like, you know, some of these 18-year-olds, 15-year-olds are like, woof, oh my God.
Tom, what you got to do is you add a splash of water. It's like a little dropper-sized amount of water,
okay.
And what it does is like it releases the flavors and it cuts that edge just enough. So that's my tip to you.
Dog.
And to any whiskey listeners out there. A lot of people are into those like big ice balls, and that's sort of the same thing where it releases a little bit of water into the alcohol, but without like totally like watering it down.
My favorite of all time, though, like just to drink, like what I'm drinking right now, I gotta be honest with you, man. I told you earlier off air that I was going to get water, and that wasn't the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That. Yeah, it was. I didn't lie. I got a mason jar of water, but I also got a rocks glass of Tullamore Dew, my favorite.
Hell
whiskey.
Yeah, Tullamore Dew. That's one of my favorites too. And back when I drank scotches and whiskeys, that was
great price point.
It's like an entry level price point. It's not cheap, and it's really good. And I think it's better than J&B. I think it's better than Jameson even. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it over those.
I gotta tweet about that
every day. I'll take it over those any day. Yes. Tullamore Dew, Irish whiskey. The Irish do something right. They do something that whatever the other people are doing aren't doing. So whatever it is, how they can make that price point happen, and it's really smooth. So yeah. This episode brought to you by Tullamore Dew.
I was going to say, sponsor me, bitch.
Yes.
Like,
Mr. Dew, if you're listening.
Yeah. What's his name? Robert Dew, I think.
Yeah, Greg Dew's cousin.
Greg Dew's cousin.
Yeah, Robert Dew. We'll just write him a letter, and we'll get a sponsor.
Yeah, I got a bottle from I dog sat over the weekend for my best friends in the world. They're a married couple, and their payment to me was a bottle of Tullamore Dew.
Hey, that works.
Hell yeah! And so I've been drinking it all weekend, I had to have something to celebrate this occasion of being on the famous Friends of the Show podcast.
Official Friends of the Show, brought to you by Tullamore Dew and dog sitting.
Yeah, dog sitting.
All right, so thank you so much. Let's wind it back to Asia. At AsiaDNYC. You got to follow her for great, hilarious tweets, great looking selfies, and all the rest. So thanks, Asia.
Great broad.
Very nice. And the next question comes to us from Michael Armstrong at _big_drink. And his question is, top 5 gangs of all time.
Yeah. I think this might be his question because we're buddies, and I like when I'm speaking to a group of people, I will address them as gang, like Freddy from Scooby Doo.
Got ya.
Fred, I don't know, I never seen it, but if I got 5, I tried to look this up too because I wanted to name a bunch of the wacky Depression era gangs.
Yep.
Because a lot of them had like crazy names, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So number 1, the only one that I can remember, is because it's the most famous of all time, is the Barrow Gang. Bonnie and Clyde. Their gang was good as far as mass murderers go, even though they kind of killed some people that didn't deserve it.
Right,
But they seemed like they were having fun, just two kids in love, You know how you can get away with answering this question without naming a bunch of mass murderers and like people who sell drugs? Is you can name the Barrow Gang. That's number one, top right off the top.
But they did murder, right? They did murder.
But they did murder people, yes. And then, okay, all right,
But aside from that,
but then the 1970s classic movie, The Warriors.
Yes.
I will name the other four gangs. My other top four favorite gangs are obviously the Warriors, the Baseball Furies, because man. If you're going to wear baseball uniforms and hit people with bats, you got to have some flair.
Yeah, I think, that one really stuck with me.
Yeah, that's three.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have an official name, but the chicks that they call them the chicks. They're like the chicks are strapped once they realize the chicks have guns.
Okay, yeah.
When they go to the apartment,
they're called the Lizzies.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense because it's heavily implied a couple things. They're the greatest because like most men deserve to get got, and like they got a couple.
Yeah,
they try to get the Warriors.
And I'm looking at a picture of them, and the perms are just very good.
Oh, so wild! It was like 100 Farrah Fawcett's in one apartment. Yeah, the Lizzies, man. They use their feminine wiles to lure the Warriors back to the apartment. Then they tried to get them, and they did their best. Yeah.
Okay, what rounds out your top five?
Me and my gang of friends, man. We're just out here.
Hell yeah! You don't have a cool name though?
Well,
Tom's Boys.
Yeah, well, so that Michael Armstrong, Scotch maniac that he is. We're in a tiny little DM room with a couple of people, and it's called the Space Cases. So I guess you could call my last one the Space Cases.
Hell yeah! Shout out to the Space Cases. Whoop whoop. Or whatever the Space Cases sound is that you make.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Actually,
or like an alien ship taking off. Or
yeah, in the vacuum of space, there is no sound, so there maybe wouldn't be a sound.
Yeah. So it's shout out to Michael at the Big Drink with a bunch of underscores. Shout out to Ditch Pony, Molly, 7Ann, I think is her at.
Yep.
Shout out to Sarah, another one of my best friends, at Girl Gnarly, and at F a bunch of underscores Steph.
F, yeah, Steph. Oh, F, yeah. Steph. Oh, great. What a cool gang.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shout out to them, and thank you, Michael, for that great question. And, of course, the next question comes to us from Capricorny Caitlin at Capricorny Kate.
Oh, God.
And the question is, Tom, what'd that mouth do?
A lot of fucking talking.
A lot of yapping. And sometimes on a podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your question, Caitlin. And the next question comes to us from Saddington2 at Haley_HUD. And the question is, when was the last time you cried? And how many coins can you fit in your hog?
First of all, I'm not gonna dignify the second part with a fucking response because do you know what she's referencing? Have you ever seen this video?
No.
There is a video.
This is a reference. Okay, please.
It's disgusting. And this is Keviclism's fault. This is at Keviclism's fault entirely. Because he's been sharing this video of a man stuffing change in his foreskin.
Got it.
And they're calling it, change hog or whatever. So the first time Haley brought this up with me, she asked me this in a room, and I said, well, I thought she was calling a piggy bank a change hog. I said, "Oh, you mean like a piggy bank?" She's like, "No, you never seen that video?" I said,
"No, you were so naive."
Don't show me that video. I swear to God, I thought she was talking about a piggy bank. I was like, I don't know. I haven't had a piggy bank since I was a toddler. But anyway, so who knows? I don't have any foreskin, so I'm not shoving nothing up there. First of all,
so the answer is 0.
And but if we're talking piggy banks, hey, I don't know. Maybe $15. I don't know. But what was the first part? What's the last time I cried?
Yeah.
Last time I cried was times it now.
9/16.
Let's say 5/16. House Feminist put up a thing about grandmas.
Oh no.
Yeah. So she wanted you to reply with pictures of your grandma being cool or whatever. So mine passed in September. So I put up mine and put a little heartfelt thing, and fucking bawled over it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's it.
All right. Well, yeah. Sorry about your grandma.
That's,
All right. Well, thank you, Haley, for the good question.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Haley.
and everyone, if you want to see that video, I guess send a DM to @Haley_HUD, and she'll hook you up with that link.
No, send one to Keviclism.
Oh, sorry, yeah, @Keviclism.
Get that man.
Send them to him
for doing that to me.
Speaking of Keviclism, the question from Kevin is, what's lower than dogs?
Now, this is another reference. So Kevin and I are buddies, obviously. And like I said, he thinks my accent's hilarious. So I told him a story once. I was named for my great uncle Tom. What's called, he was kind of a nut. Like, he's kind of like, sort of like a wild man around town. There are like stories about him, busting up the bar with a sledgehammer and shit because he couldn't get a drink there anymore.
Okay, I get it.
Stuff like that. Yeah, shooting at the bartender's feet, making him dance and things like that. So, like, he had a sign in his house that he stole from, like, the local, I guess, supermarket or something. It was an old-timey sign from the Depression that said, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. So, we're Irish, despite my last name. So he used to... Kevin's, like, making a joke about my dad, who... we had the sign after Uncle Tom died. It was in his stuff, but I don't have it now. But so he had the sign, and he looked at me. I was a little boy. He said, "Tommy, we're lower than dogs." Like real heartfelt, like that. Like
yeah, it was like people really ordered us in that order.
Yeah. So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about us.
Well, yeah, great inside reference, and thank you for sharing that with us. And shout out to Uncle Tom, I guess. Mm-hmm. Wait, that's normally a bad thing, right?
Yeah, it depends how you use it, yeah.
All right. Okay, well. All right, so we got funny questions coming up. These questions made me laugh, actually, out loud when I read them. So shout out to Hee-Haw @ComradeTwitty. And the first question is, Tom, if you had a pool and you could only afford a slide or a diving board, what would you go with?
That's tough, man, because you got to think about it like this, right? What's more fun? The slide. But you ever get your ass cheeks caught on a slide, dog?
Oh, yeah.
It's not fun.
You get that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then also, you're not impressing anyone going down a slide. I'm a 34-year-old man. You want to see a 6-foot-tall 34-year-old man sliding down a slide? I don't think so. If you're at a party with your boys and you're all drinking Twisted Teas, Mike's Hards, that's fine. You could go down a slide and no judgment, whatever. But you got some ladies there. You're not going down a slide, dog. You want to do a backflip off that diving board. You want to do a nice dive that makes no splash.
Full pike.
Come up, have a chick hand you a white wine spritzer.
I was thinking Lime-A-Rita, but yeah.
Light lime maybe, but a mojito. You have a Cuban girl there just handing out mojitos. Mm-hmm. Maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah, you come out like
caipirinha for the Brazilians.
The key is like coming out of the pool all cool and like it slicks your hair back as you come out. Kind of thing,
yes. Right? On some Phoebe Cates shit.
Yes, Phoebe Cates, and you do like a one hair whip thing, then your hair's perfect.
You look at the chick like how cute I always thought you were, and then she hands you a caipirinha.
Well, that's a good answer. It's really well thought out, and the answer, of course, is diving board.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's my answer too. Diving board, final answer.
Hell yeah.
All right, next question.
Let's go.
Tom, what's your favorite household object to use as a hammer when you don't have a hammer?
I got really big hands, man. My fists. That's the most closely related household object you got, because you never don't have them unless you don't have them. You know what I mean?
I guess that's true.
Not like you have to go looking for them.
And you generally call your fists the hammers, or you call them something else?
No, well, you got to name them.
Some people have cool names, right?
Yeah, no, you got to name them. Like, I'm left-handed, so lefty's my dominant one. So you got to call him Mjolnir if you're going to use him as a hammer.
Okay, got it.
And then the right one, that's Percy.
Percy, he's the one. Yeah, he's all business.
He's the dude who does the talking. He does the handshakes. Like, I'm strong. I got a strong right hand for business related handshakes, but that's it. I'm not punching nothing with it.
Yeah. So that goes back to your part nice guy, but then don't mess with Mjolnir if bad guy's out.
Yeah.
Bad boy. All right. Well, great answer. And the final and most hilarious question asked by @ComradeTwitty is, Tom, do you think you could beat a crab in one-on-one combat? The particular crab you gotta fight is the size of a coyote and mad at you for personal reasons.
Dude.
Let's all take a moment and just enjoy that question.
Dude,
Probably one of the funniest questions asked on the podcast. So shout out to that question. And what a question it is.
I told you, man. Funniest man on Twitter. You know, we've got a lot of funny women on Twitter. I think they're funnier than us, but we've got one man, and it's him. And he is fucking so funny and so underrated, man. Like, just the way his brain works just kills me. Yeah, just the way, like, and like the personal reasons part, like, makes me laugh so hard.
I want to know what these reasons are.
Like, yeah, what I do to him. Yeah, no, man. If you're mad at me for personal reasons, see, I always said this. I'm going to take this a little sideways if you don't mind. So I've always said, like, when the person who kills me, because I know I will be taken out of this world by somebody. It's either going to be me or someone who hates me, and it better be someone who hates me, and it better be a decent reason. It better not be some random thing. You know what I mean? I better not, like, fall off a bridge. I'm either jumping or getting pushed.
Okay.
So for personal reasons, oh, man, if those personal reasons are strong enough, I hope he kills me. because if I deserve it, I deserve it. Everyone's got their time to go. I don't plan to make it much longer. You know, if it's going to be a coyote-sized crab, hell yeah, snap me in half, daddy.
That's a good way to go. Probably be like, turn into some weird, like, viral image.
Oh, yeah, I'd be on Rotten.com. Is that still a thing?
Yeah. Wow, you think it's real? That's a huge crab.
Oh, my God, that crab is fucking big, dude. You think he really got Yucky Tom?
It's Photoshopped for sure. Although no one's heard from Yucky Tom since this photo surfaced.
Old boy Yucky Tom was talking about how he was naming his fists after Thor's hammer, and now he's got by a crab that's the size of a coyote.
Crab dips you in butter or some shit just as revenge.
Well, that's another thing. You kill me, you better eat me.
You better drag my body into Walmart. Get greeted properly, and then...
Yeah, put some mayonnaise under my legs, put some Hellmann's under my legs, get those for free. Drag me out of there. Weekend at Bernie's me for a little bit. Give me my loved ones for a minute to Weekend at Bernie's me, get some free shit out of it, and then you can have me back, but you gotta eat me.
That's a great plan. And yeah, no one thinks about how fun it is for Bernie. Like, he's, there's a little bit of life after death.
Dude, Weekend at Bernie's too. Woo.
The dancing one? That's a dancing one, right?
Woo. That's the Caribbean one, where he's in the Caribbean, yeah. That's the one where he's shaking his ass a little bit.
The voodoo, he gets resurrected by voodoo magic. I just remember the scene in the bathroom where they're like performing the voodoo ceremony, and they think it's not working, but he keeps dancing. It's a dance thing. You guys, you got to see this. If you haven't heard about it, Weekend at Bernie's 2. Dive right in. Don't even worry about Weekend at Bernie's. Just dive right in. This is some good 80s shit.
Just the way Andrew McCarthy says, Richard, in the movie, man. You got to see it just for that. You
got to see it. And I identified with Richard. I was like, well, we're going to get in trouble. Like the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna get caught. But
we would have been great partners, man. You could have been Richard. I could have been whatever Andrew McCarthy's name is.
So good.
Larry, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much to @ComradeTwitty. Definitely be following him.
Follow him. Everyone follow that, man.
All right. We still got some more questions. Let's keep on going. And the question comes to us from @PartTimeWinner. Jakey Wakey asks, is that Bay tattoo real? Now, I should say, I should come clean here. I posted a picture of Tom for this question call, and I added an emoji. Bay heart arrow with through the heart tattoo onto his arm.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm not above getting it. I'll do it.
just to retcon the image to make it make it real.
Yeah, I mean the sunglasses weren't real either. I'll have them tattooed on my eyes. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I thought you looked. I mean, you look good either way. But I thought the sunglasses really sold how cool you are.
Yeah, no, I got a tattoo of a Shy Guy from Mario Brothers 2, the most shittiest Mario Brothers game there ever was. So I don't care. I'll tattoo whatever.
Damn. That's hardcore.
I got a tattoo on my leg of a panther wearing sunglasses with the sunset in his mouth. You know, I'm a wild dude.
That's cool.
I'll just do whatever.
What else?
Yeah, that's probably the craziest one. That's my party animal.
That's your go-to. I have a tattoo of this.
But if you've seen that big red bird on my arm, that's a Liverpool tattoo. I'm not above getting sports team tattoos.
Oh wow, there you go. So you're in it. You're in it with the tattoo game. What's next on the list? I like to ask if you got another one lined up.
What is next on the list? I would like either your for doing this, for having me on here, or a street map of the city of Baltimore, because it's my favorite place on the planet.
Baltimore?
I love Baltimore.
Hold up. What?
I'm telling you, man.
This is one of the very few cities in the States that I've been to, and I rank it the very bottom of all the cities of the States that I've been to.
You have not been to the right places then.
That's true. And I was in grade 9 or something. It was I was
gotta go drink there.
I was on a field trip.
You gotta be an adult.
I was, yeah.
No, but for realsies, I would probably like I said, I have the panther on my calf wearing sunglasses. I'd like a wolf on the other calf. You ever see those old traditional style tattoos where it's the wolf with his mouth open, he's got the dagger through his fucking head? I want one of those.
Yeah.
Badass.
That would be badass. All right, well, looking forward to it. The next time you get that badass feeling that you need to get another tattoo.
Yeah, I'll show you as soon as I get it.
Hell yeah. Well, maybe after it heals a little bit. I don't like it looking right after it's all gross and bloody. Would you believe it? We got another question from Haley _HUD. I didn't even notice. Okay, and this might need some explanation. If you were a co-star notification, what would it be and why? Now, I see screenshots of this app, CoStar, but I have no idea what it is, so please.
So it's an astrology app that reads your chart and everything, gives you advice during every day and all that.
Okay.
But mostly it's horse shit. Yeah. And they one time it gave me a notification that taught me about trees. I don't know shit about trees. I'm an American man. I know about trees. You know what I mean? I know who Paul Bunyan is. I've chopped a tree down.
So you know about the tree's greatest enemy.
yeah. But honestly, it's just it's a astrology app.
Okay, got
it.
it.
So it gives you a little advice. Hey, don't fuck your friend's wife today, and shit like that.
Right? Yeah, general little astrology tips and sayings or whatever.
Your moon is in blah blah blah. So don't get got today. Don't get shot.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But it's usually pretty simple. It's usually 1 or 2 sentences. So let's say.
So if you were one.
If I was one.
Or if you were writing one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. Let's say if I were one, right?
That's your whole life.
I want to go with my house motto. I want to say, take everything you can from this world, because this world will take everything from you.
Ooh.
I say that every chance I get.
If we were doing,
you want a funny one now?
Well, if we still did quotes at the top of the show, that would have been a great one.
You want a funny one?
Oh hell yeah, yeah! I want to give us all.
Oh, I can't think of one now.
Haley's waiting.
Haley, come on! Don't put coins in your hog.
That's a good one. That's just general good advice.
Yeah.
No matter what Haley says.
Yeah, Haley and Kevin conspiring to make men put coins in their hog.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your other question, Haley. And the next question comes to us from the obscure gent himself, James Alvarez.
Shit.
And his question is, what is the legal height to tease your hair in New Jersey? And also, can you demonstrate picking up change for the listeners and all of the hardcore dancers out there?
Well, first of all, this man has his own podcast, or several. I don't know at this point.
He has an empire. We've talked about this on other episodes.
No, this is an audio medium. How am I supposed to demonstrate anything? You just hear me getting sweaty.
Right. Yeah, let's just close our eyes. Everyone close your eyes.
Close
and
your
imagine.
eyes, picture me.
Yeah, Tom, you do the audio of you bending over and picking up change.
All right, I'm just going to describe it. You picture me. It's me, old Tom. I'm at the show. Let's say we're at the Stone Pony. Who's a good artist to pick up change to? Let's say Every Time I Die. So you're at the Every Time I Die show. I clear out the pit. I fucking push you all back into a circle. I get right in the middle, right? And I just fucking bend over at the waist. So now, my khaki shorts are right in your face. Now.
Taut.
Yeah, taut. Yeah, tight. Yeah, no, I'm wearing them. They're from J. Crew, so they're tight. They're probably pink, and they probably got turtles all over them. Little images. So now I'm bent over at the waist. I got one hand on the floor, one fist in the air, back behind me.
Oh, wow.
And I'm doing that. I'm alternating that. I'm picking up change. You're picking up change.
There's a lot of change. If you've ever been to a show with a pit, if you wait after, you can pick up a bunch of change.
Yeah. As long as the fucking beat is like a chug beat, you can do it.
Well, thank you. Did you pick it up? Is that good? Great visualization of that. And shout out to James and the Obscure Gent. Follow them. They're really good. They got cool comics and a podcast.
Another good couple of dudes.
Yeah, real
Great
good
guys.
dudes. They do a lot of cool stuff, including
a lot of charity stuff, a lot of cool stuff.
Charity stuff, cool contests. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. We have made it over the mountain of questions to the final question. But before we get to it, I would like to take a moment and do a very special segment about Morgan and Tom at house_feminists. And Tom, I think we've talked about this a little bit, but I've picked up a couple tweets that you have tweeted to her, and I think they're very nice. So you've tweeted, House Feminists paint a fake railroad tunnel on the side of a cliff that I figure out is a trick just before I bonk my noggin, but a very real locomotive emerges and decimates me anyway. That's just a classic Tom reply. I got another one here that says, House Feminists beat me about the legs and torso with a club carved from an ancient oak tree, then put me in a time machine stolen from the Area 51 raid and drop me off in the Mesozoic period, feed me to an Allosaurus because being this hot should be illegal and I can't go on. And just one more here. Hello, can you just tie each of my limbs to 4 separate horses facing 4 separate directions and fire a starter pistol to spook them and cut me down, fold me up end over end in an alternating pattern and play me like an accordion, please?
You gotta throw the please in there.
House Feminists punch me in both my ass cheeks until they're flat against my body, and the next time I go down a water slide, I just shoot off into oblivion and freeze to death in the vacuum of space. Needless to say, House Feminist is hot.
Hot.
The
hottest.
Official. We've heard it here. Shout out to Morgan, House_Feminist, one of the best. And speaking of, here's her questions. The first question, what animal would you be if your spirit was taken from your body and placed in a creature?
So now, her and I have discussed this, and I'll tell you what I said, and I'll tell you what she said. I said that I would like it to be a wolf. I identify with the wolf. We're both from North America. We both have sizable canines. Family's very important to both of us. I love my family. They love theirs. I am, strong, popular, handsome jock. So I identify with the alpha of the pack a lot. My hair is going gray, so
cool.
They're gray, the gray wolf, and
like salt and pepper.
And then she said a slow loris. So if you don't know what a slow loris is, it is basically a little lemur with massive eyes and ears. I don't have big eyes, but I do have big ears. I guess she just sort of feels that energy off me. I am sort of nocturnal. Despite working all hours of the day and the night, I do operate sort of nocturnally and am not great in the morning. Also, I'm super cute. If you really look at me, I'm not small, but I guess maybe I portray like a cute, small energy. I exude. I'm not sure.
I get it. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot in common.
Yeah, I'd like to say I'm halfway between those. I'd like to think I'm a wolf, but other people may not.
So you might be a slow loris, but you also might be a wolf.
It might be. But also, if you need to see a slow loris without Googling, you can go to @YuckyTom on Twitter, and my banner is a slow loris looking a little surprised that him and I have been compared to each other.
Well, that's very nice. Slow loris. Shout out to slow lorises if you're listening.
Shout out to them everywhere. Living in the jungle's brush. I love that. I love that for them.
All right. And the next question, of course, is if you could channel an iconic celebrity's energy, whose would it be?
All right, listen. This is going to be, I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. I'm going to give percentages, and it's not going to equal 100%. I want you to know that right now.
Okay.
Because the energy of these women is too strong. There might be a man in there. I don't remember. All right, so 30% Dolly Parton, 30% Cher. So that's 60. Let's say
40 to go.
Okay, so 25 King Arthur.
All right, 85.
Arthur Eld. Let's say who else? Britney, bitch. Let's say 12 with her.
Okay. You're at 97.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be Steven. It's not. There's not 3% left. There's a lot left.
So yeah, 1% of.
So okay, Britney, bitch. Who else? Who else is a good one that I feel like I exude? Oh man. All right, I'll condense it. I'll throw it down to one more. Just a timeless. Oh man, never mind.
You're gonna leave 3% blank? What the hell?
3%. 3% Eddie from Frasier.
Oh,
let's
perfect.
Go to 100%. Well, 3% Eddie from Frasier. His real name was Moose, and he was a thick ass boy.
Hell yeah, I definitely get that vibe. I get a Moose vibe off of you for sure.
I got a big thick neck like.
At least 3%. All right, we got 2 more questions, the final 2 questions of this great episode that we've had, and they both come from our good friend Morgan at house_feminist. If we haven't said enough good things about her, one more thing is she's great, she's hilarious. And the next question is, can you describe how you feel turning back to face your friends after bowling?
Like God, like Jesus Christ himself.
Oh, it's good. I was wondering if it was bad. So you're good at bowling. You're a natural athlete.
No. I'm a natural athlete, smart jock. But I'm okay at bowling. But when I do something right in bowling, man, that alley is gonna feel it. I've got the fist up in the air near my face. Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen what she's talking about? The video of me.
Oh,
doing
no.
my bowling face.
No. Oh, I didn't know this was in reference to something specific.
Everything's always in reference to something.
I know, but you got to explain it to old Steve before he figures it out.
So you throw your hand up, right? Just in a fist, but like straight in front of you, like you drug free.
Got it.
Like the old straight edge fist pump.
It's like, yeah.
Now, you pull it back, you stick your tongue out at the same time, like, you feel like Jesus Christ himself walking on water.
Yeah, it's almost
There's no better feeling. There's no better feeling. I don't want to hear anyone talking about, like, sex or, like eating your favorite meal or anything like that. Getting a strike in bowling and turning around to your friends when you're not good at bowling and looking at your friends with your tongue out, man, it's like you're the Beatles releasing whatever their top song was. I don't know them.
It's like if the world forgot who the Beatles were and you were the one who remembered, and then you sang a Beatles song to somebody.
If I was the handsome Indian British man who reminded the world who the Beatles were, who reminded old white people who
their favorite band was.
Yes. Like, okay. All right.
I haven't seen the movie, but what happens to the mop tops? That whole part just gets thrown out? Like, it's just the songs? There's no mop tops?
Right. Where's the outrage? Where's Ferris Bueller singing Shout at the Chicago parade or whatever, the sausage parade? Where's
the guys running from a mob of fanaticized fans?
Yeah.
And then like sitting on a bench with newspapers in front of them. That was the whole. They made that. They invented that.
Yeah, right. That was, and I, I'm not. I don't have a strong opinion on the Beatles. I like their poppier stuff better. I like their dumb bullshit stuff, like I Want to Hold Your Hand and 8 Days a Week. I like that stuff better than like when they got weird. But like sitting on a bench with a newspaper in front of you with a gaggle of reply girls chasing you, I embody that. Like I feel that. Like they're like, oh my God, is that at Yucky Tom?
It's
and I have to go to these parks with big sunglasses on and like a trench coat and a fedora. You know, I can't be seen.
Newspaper. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So if the Beatles had never done that, like, what would I do? Would I have known to do that? I could be killed.
See, that's one thing that I hope that they do address in the movie, which I haven't seen again, but I hope that they do specifically address this one specific thing. All right, now we've had a great time. We've had a lot of laughs, and now we get to the final question submitted via the platform Twitter to @FOTSPod. Thank you to everyone who sent in a question. This might have been, I mean, this is right up there with the most questions, so shout out to you, Tom, for being so very lovable and friendly online and eliciting so much love and questions from the people. So thank you for being on the podcast. And what is your answer to this question posed by Morgan? Where did you learn to throw a hatchet?
About 5 seconds before I threw that hatchet. You know what she's talking about?
No, did you guys go axe throwing?
I went to some, me and my family went to, we got drunk at this like hatchet place that's big here now.
Mm-hmm.
You throw a hatchet.
Yeah,
and,
we call it axe throwing. It's big. Okay. It's big here too. I guess it's all.
Okay. So you just you drink a bunch of Coors Light, out of a bucket,
mm-hmm.
and then you just whip a bunch of axes at each other and at targets.
That part wasn't right.
Yeah, no, my bad. Like I said, Steve and I've been drinking. We've been over how I'm just
natural,
like a natural athlete. Just my left arm is just, I could throw a Panzer tank, I think, with just that arm
over a mountain. So, are you left-handed? Are we just getting to this? You're throwing?
No, we talked about this before with Mjolnir and Percy.
Oh yeah, Mjolnir's the powerful one.
Right. So there is a video online now. The caption is a joke, but it rings true too. I will protect the people I love with a hatchet if I have to.
Right.
I'll hit the bullseye every time because I'm just that dude. Honestly, I'm 150% that guy.
Tom, you are 150% that guy, and I want to thank you for being that guy on the podcast today. Such a great chat, such a great podcast. I had so much fun. I'm sweating a bunch. That means it was a good show.
Me too,
really
man.
Sweaty. So that's how you podcasted. It was fun to podcast. So thank you again for coming on. And
thanks for having me, Doug.
All right, my man. So I guess we end it and we say our goodbyes as I play the podcast theme. So have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your Tullamore Dew.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, man.
I'll see you online.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. And
have an old time.
Yeah, it was a great time. And we'll catch you out there at Yucky Tom. Well, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode with Tom. Now do follow at Yucky Tom on Twitter for fun stuff mixed in with realness. Now, if you like, you can also follow at FOTSPod on Twitter and get notified about the latest episodes, new posts, and when to send questions to the show. Now, I have been on Twitter since 2012 and continue to do so at SkinnerSteven. Now, if you want more friends of the show, head on over to www.stephenwskinner.com for all the old episodes, or check us out on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Please leave a rating and review. 5 stars. Thanks to Ruby Coast for the music. Thanks to Kyle I. Davidson for the theme. And thank you so very much for listening. Send me a message. I'm Stephen W. Skinner. Have a great one.